Let's begin our roundtable for the candidates for Lorain County Commissioner. Seated to my right is former Mayor of Elyria, Bill Grace. To my left is Mr. Richard Resendez, and to my far left is current incumbent County Commissioner Laurie Kokoski. These candidates are running in the Democratic primary, which takes place on March the 6th. I wish to remind our audience that the early voting has begun. It began on January the 31st and is running until March the 5th. You can go to the Board of Elections and cast your ballot early, or you can request an absentee ballot. But you don't have to wait until March the 6th to cast your ballot for any of the candidates, whether you vote in the Democratic, Republican primaries, or ask for a non-affiliated ballot. So we will begin the 2-minute opening statements, and we will begin with Mr. Former Mayor Bill Grace.
Good evening. Thank you, David and Jasmine and Chip, for having us here this evening. There are two issues that dominate our conversations in Lorain County: the condition of our economy and the quality of our public services. And we've all witnessed over the years how the two have gone hand in hand. As our economy has declined, so too has the quality of our public services. Many will simply say we need to improve our economy, and that will therefore raise the revenues we need to improve our services. And as logical as that may sound, in practice it's largely the other way around. You see, in order to attract the businesses and families we need for our economy to improve, we need to first improve the quality of our public services. You see, businesses and families alike choose to locate in places that are improving, not in places that are in decline. So the question is, how do we improve our services? Well, we all know too well that there's little to no tolerance to raise taxes. So the answer is clear. We as communities throughout Lorain County need to come together in ways we've never done before. We need to form partnerships where we share services, and that will gain us the financial benefits of working together. For the past 12 years, I've served as mayor of the city of Elyria, and the things that we need to do throughout Lorain County right now are exactly the things that I made happen in Elyria as its mayor. We balanced all of our budgets. In 12 years, that's 12 consecutive balanced budgets. We brought in over $56 million in competitive grants that save local taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. We partnered with Elyria Township and created the most comprehensive joint economic development district in the state of Ohio. We created other partnerships with Eaton Township, the city of Lorain, the Sheriff's Office, and Lorain County Community College, to name a few. At that same time, I developed relationships throughout the region such that Greater Cleveland area leaders chose me 3 years ago to be the president of NOACA. NOACA is the agency that distributes the federal transportation dollars for Greater Cleveland. I'm here asking to be your next Lorain County Commissioner with the firm belief that I have the drive, determination, the leadership skills, and the resources to bring the leaders of our area together to truly make a difference. And with your vote on March 6th, which I would greatly appreciate having, I can help us work together to make our communities better and indeed make Lorain County better. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Mr. Resendez.
Thank you, David. Thank you to Chip for the opportunity to address you tonight. My name is Rich Resendez, and I'm a candidate for Lorain County Commissioner. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been married 29 years to Lori. We have 2 adult children. I'm a lifelong Lorain County resident and a lifelong Democrat. I served the citizens of Lorain for 26 years as a Lorain police officer. I served the citizens of Lorain County as a captain with the Lorain County Sheriff's Office for 9 years. This is all about what makes me the most qualified candidate. And I think the answer is communication. I have the ability to communicate. The ability to communicate with elected officials, with employees, and most importantly, with the community. I am the only candidate who has firsthand experience and, more importantly, firsthand knowledge to effectively streamline the biggest part of the general fund, the criminal justice system, which makes up about 73% of that general fund. The county general fund is about $50 million. We're talking about $36.5 million. With my experience and my knowledge, I can streamline that, and let's just say if we streamline it 10%, we get it down to 63%, that's a savings of $5 million. My career in public service has been over 33 years. I've gained a lot of experience with collective bargaining. I've been active in the community with the Lorain County Domestic Violence Task Force, Lorain County Anti-Hate Group, and every year we participated in the Lorain County Safe Coalition Holiday Education Program. Being a leader is more than a name, a title, or a position. It's being involved in the community and making a difference either with a person or with a program. I believe I've done this, and with my background experience, I'm asking for your vote on March 6th. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to Chip for having us here tonight. My name is Lori Kukowski, and I am your Lorain County Commissioner. I'm serving my second term and asking for your support for my third. Previously, before becoming Commissioner, I sat on Lorain City Council as 8th Ward Council Representative for 3 consecutive terms. I got involved with politics because of a road and sewer issue that was happening on Oak Point Road where I live. At the time, it was going to cost us about $13,000 for 100 foot of frontage, and our councilwoman at the time said, well, you people can afford it, just don't go out to eat once a week. Well, needless to say, I believe that the city of Lorain needed someone to stand up for them and to be their voice, and that's why I ran. Then I decided to become commissioner and to be the voice for Lorain County. But while I was on city council, I wanted to let you know some of the other jobs that I've had because I worked primarily in the private sector. While I was on council, I also worked for Mercy Health, which is now, was Community Health Partners, it's now Mercy. Also for Russell Realtors in North Ridgeville, I was a realtor. I also worked for the auditor's office, Mark Stewart, doing sales reviews, and also a Mary Kay consultant. So what I did, 5 part-time jobs all at one time. What that tells you is I can wear many hats, and as commissioner, that's what you have to do. You have to wear many hats. You're responsible for so many different departments throughout the county. I would ask for your support on March 4th. I believe that experience is the most crucial element in this race, and as having the 7 years as commissioner, now is not the time to learn how to be a commissioner. Thank you very much.
I would like to introduce you to my co-moderator. This is Jasmine Otero. She is a sophomore at Lorain High School. She's a member of the Model UN Club, and she will ask the first question, which will we will ask for 1-minute answers, and we will begin that questioning with Commissioner Kukowski. So I turn the microphone over to Jasmine.
Having the position of commissioner requires you to have knowledge of your community and ethical behavior. Do you believe that you meet these essential qualities? How do you plan to in your work?
I think I've already proven that I have the integrity to do the job since I have over the last 7 years, and I think we need to lead by example. For instance, when I first became a commissioner, I drove a county car back and forth to work. As soon as we decided to pass the first sales tax, I turned that county car in. I've never received mileage reimbursement as long as I've been a commissioner. I've never put 1 cent on the county credit card, and also I give 10% of my pay back to the county every month, which is about over $400. So the integrity, honesty, and open-mindedness that I possess, I think makes me the best candidate as your Lorain County Commissioner, and I would be honored to be your commissioner for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Same question, Mr. Resendez.
Thank you, Mr. Arredondo. I couldn't agree more that your knowledge of the community and your ethical behavior is a key component in being a commissioner. Knowledge of the community. As I stated earlier, I served the citizens of Lorain for 26 years as the sheriff at the sheriff's office, as the director of law enforcement and the director of corrections. I worked with the townships and villages and the cities. You had to be able to coordinate and communicate effectively with all aspects of government. Through that, I was able to streamline some of the jail process, which is the main component of the sheriff's office. It comes down to ethical behavior. In my career as a law enforcement officer, I stood up and I was recognized. In 1998, I received one of the nation's top Police Officers Award. I was named one of the top 10 police officers in the country. I was named the Outstanding Hispanic Ohioan Distinguished Service Award in 1998. Those are two awards that I treasure I cherish very dearly to my heart. And that goes to my background and my ethics. Thank you.
And the same question, Mayor Grace.
Thank you, David. You know, it's been said by many that there's no position of elective office more than in the whole spectrum than mayor of a community in terms of being in the trenches, in the front lines, in the lives of people. You know, from picking up their trash on a daily basis to the leaves, to being helping to facilitate them to find public services. Having served as mayor of the city of Elyria for the past 12 years, I've been very much engaged in the daily lives of our residents. And through that experience also have been working very closely with our neighbor communities. So, you know, it's critical. The point that Lorain County is in now that is in the greatest need is to bring the communities of the county together to share services, to work together more cooperatively. And as for our personal behavior and our ethical conduct, we as elected officials, whatever our position is, we are held accountable and are ambassadors and representatives of the people that we represent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And it's wherever we may be, whether we're traveling out of town or in our communities, and we need to act in the highest of ethical standards. I believe I've done that and met what's called for upon me by our residents, that I'm very proud of my ethical behavior and my ability to relate and work closely with the residents of our community and around the county.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask Jasmine to continue with the questioning, and she will ask Mayor Grace this next question.
The St. Joseph Community Center, this building, faces a possible closure due to insufficient occupancy. It currently houses many offices, a VA clinic, Congressman Sutton and Senator Brown's offices, and an LCCC campus, among other tenants. Lorain County and the City of Lorain have taken out loans to sustain the building's viability. Would you recommend other alternatives?
Well, there are many key issues here with this St. Joe's Center. You know, among them is that there's a great partnership between the state of Ohio, the county, and of course the city of Lorain, working with its veterans and other elected officials, and as well as the Lorain County Community College and their facilities. And it has had its challenges, as any large facility would, in terms of its ventilation system and maintenance and so on. I know we're hopeful that we'll receive a state grant that will help in demolishing parts of this property, and that will help the property be overall more efficient. But right now, it's not quite carrying its weight in terms of the revenues coming in from the tenants. And for those who are critical of it, saying, well, it's not going to make it, I don't think these last few years and the horrible national economy that we've been absorbing is necessarily the true test of the overall viability of this facility. It's in this heart of Lorain, one of the key anchors, if not the anchor of Lorain County, and this facility needs to be protected. We need to encourage tenancy to be here. And we need to work with the state. The state has, with the leadership of this governor and the leadership in the General Assembly, they've been taking away from local communities. And we need to demand that they forgive the loan that's been made from the state to this facility to help give it its chance to make it. And the last thing I'll say here is this is an important facility for our veterans. And one of the subplots to all of this is an effort to try to make this a one-stop place of opportunity for veterans to bring veteran services with the VA clinic here. And I fully support the notion of having a one-stop facility for the veteran services. Thank you.
Same question to Mr. Resendez.
Thank you, David. I believe there's only one alternative. The alternative is to make this a viable building, to bring in tenants, to service the community, to service the veterans, as Mr. Grace indicated. We can't agree. Candidates can agree on certain issues, and I do agree that we owe the veterans a priceless debt, that they're deserving of our intentions and our service to them. I had a conversation last week with Ray Carrion. He's the Community Development Director for the City of Lorain, and Mr. Carrion indicated that St. Joe's Hospital, the building, the South Shore, is about this close to turning the corner to making it a very productive establishment. And I believe that we need, with the substantial investment that the county has and that the city of Lorain has made, that we need to go forward and bring in businesses to the hospital. Thank you.
This is absolutely an issue that we all three agree upon. My heart goes out to the veterans. My mother's first husband died in Pearl Harbor, and my dad served in World War II in the Army. I appreciate the fact that our veterans serve our country, and freedom is not free. The question about St. Joe's is the fact is the county was a co-signer on a loan, which is about $750,000. And what we are suggesting is if we put any money, more additional money towards St. Joe's, that the state would reduce our debt by that amount. I am very certain that we are going to keep St. Joe's open. We fought very hard the last time it was due to close, and we won that battle, and I'm sure we'll win this battle as well. I will do anything that I can personally. Actually, I have a meeting with someone from the governor's office on the 29th, and we're going to discuss those issues, and we will keep St. Joe's open. I can almost guarantee you that.
Okay, we have time for 2 quick questions. These are going to be a lightning round fashion, so less than 30 seconds. We will ask for your quick answer. I'll begin with Commissioner Kukowski. In 2008 and 2011, you voted to place a sales tax increase on the ballot. Both times, the voters rejected the issue overwhelmingly. Given the projected deficit for 2013, would you favor putting the sales tax referendum on the ballot again this November? If so, why? What has changed to make you believe the voters will approve it now?
We need to continue to educate the voters on the sales tax issue. For one, our employees have not had a raise in 3 years. They are looking at contracts with no raises for the next 3 years forward. It's unfair. They've been put in a position where they're paying more for their health care, they're working longer hours, they're working harder than ever without any extra pay. They deserve more than what they're getting, and I would very much appreciate if the sales tax would pass for them, for transit, for the sheriff's department, for so many different issues in the county that face each and every one of you, but you don't realize you need it until and you don't realize it's not there until you need it. So I would hope that the residents in the future someday will pass a sales tax, because we absolutely need it.
As we sit here today, I got to tell you that I would not put a sales tax on in November. And I say that because of this. We have done nothing to educate the voters, to educate the taxpayers of where their taxpaying dollars are going. And that was a problem. The 2 times that the tax was on the ballot, I believe the campaign was not ran properly, and it was defeated very soundly. So until we provide that education, until we tell the voters what their dollars are going for, I will not be in favor of putting that on the ballot. And if we do that, and we do that in a productive manner, then I would do that. Thank you.
Same question, Mayor.
The last time the 3 of us were together in a room, we were in the plain dealer offices where they were interviewing us for an endorsement. By the way, I'm proud that I received that endorsement. One of the things that came up during that conversation that I had brought up was that, you know, the communities around the county, the cities and villages in particular, feel there's a disconnect between our communities and the county government. And Ms. Kukowski's response was, boy, if you ask the townships, they would say the same thing, that they feel they're being ignored in favor of the municipalities. So my question I ask of that is, well, if the cities and villages and now the townships, none of which feel that the county government is advocating on their behalf, you know, we've got a problem here. So, you know, my view of this is, in order, I believe that sales tax is important and needed in our county. I think all of us here do agree that, and most elected officials around the county see that. But what we need in order to pass that sales tax is the communities, townships, villages, and municipalities throughout Lorain County need to feel a part of county government and need to feel that the county government is having their back. And that's what I plan to bring to the Board of County Commissioners from my experience in the trenches as mayor for the last 12 years, to bring a strong connectivity between between county government and the local communities, and I believe that partnership will lead to a passage of the sales tax in the near future.
Okay, now we have even less time to do our last question, and we'll begin with Mayor Grace. In 2009, Cuyahoga County voters approved a change in county government, abolishing all elected offices save for the prosecutor, and replaced them with an elected county executive and a county district council. If elected, would you favor a similar change? And you have 15 seconds.
If I had to give a yes or no, I would say probably no. I would say no, yes. Summit County tried this a number of years ago. They're the first of 88, and it took massive scandal within Cuyahoga County for them to make a similar attempt. I'm not convinced that changing the current style is of any improvement. I think we lose checks and balances that the various offices provide throughout the county right now, so I don't see that. You know, perhaps there could be a groundswell that convince me otherwise, but I don't see it at this point.
Mr. Resendez.
I also agree there's not a need for that at this particular time. There's a reason why that happened in Cuyahoga County. The county sheriff was indicted, the county commissioner is on trial, and the county auditor was convicted. There was a reason. At this particular time, we have a form of government here. If you're not properly doing your job, the remedy is you vote them out. And I think that's why we have that. And again, I agree that at this particular time, I would not be in favor of that.
I'll be quick. I don't think the majority of people in this county want bigger government. I think they want smaller government. If we were to do it by sections of the county, we would have to increase to 5 commissioners plus their assistants. I think it would actually add additional dollars to our costs.
Now we'll conclude with 60-second closing statements, beginning with Commissioner Kukowski.
Thank you again. I want to tell you that I do have a proven track record of being fair, honest, and open. I believe the experience of being a commissioner sets me apart from my opponents. They both have public service experience, but not as a commissioner. Now is not the time to learn how to do the job. I also believe that we need a woman to remain on the board. It took 70 years for a woman to be elected as a Lorain County Commissioner, and we've had representation ever since. So I believe that we represent a large portion of this community, and I believe that we bring a different perspective to the table. And I also am a lifelong resident, a lifelong Democrat, and after I'm elected, I do treat everybody equally and fairly. I stand up for what is right, and I have common sense. I hope you would support me on March 6th. I would be honored to serve you for the next 4 years, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, David, for the opportunity to address you tonight. You heard about my family, you heard about my background, and you heard about why I believe I'm the most qualified candidate. For over 33 years, I've served the community. I've served the community in very troubled times, oftentimes when people fell victim to crimes and very traumatic ordeals. I was called upon then to serve and protect, and I guess right now I'm asking to be called upon again to serve and protect in these tough economic times, to protect your valuable asset, that being your taxpayers' dollars. I believe I'm qualified in the biggest part of county government, the criminal justice system, and on March 6th, again, I ask for your support and I ask for your vote to be the next Lorain County Commissioner. Thank you.
60-second closing statement, Mayor Grace.
Keep reminding me of my time. You know, there are a general level of expectations set of elected officials in various offices, and county commissioners have included. And primarily that's spending money wisely, making difficult choices, and generally conducting oneself with good conduct. And in my 12 years of serving as mayor, I've displayed that with great success. We balanced our budgets, we made difficult decisions. But we're in a time and a place now where elected officials of every level need to step above and beyond the call of duty and need to step way outside the box to be more effective to all communities throughout this county. And what I offer the residents of Lorain County is a perspective from in the trenches, where we need to, as the communities of Lorain County, need to come together, and they need a commissioner that has their back, that will be working closely hand in hand with the communities of Lorain County. I plan to provide that leadership. I ask for your support in this election. Thank you very much, Chip, for having us here this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Grace. And that concludes our roundtable. I'd like to thank Commissioner Kukowski, Mr. Resendez, Mayor Grace, and of course, Model UN student Jasmine Otero. Our next roundtable will be for the other county commission seat, and that will be for Mr. Kalo and Mr. Taylor. We now begin our final roundtable for this evening, and this is for the second county commissioner seat that is open. To my right is Carlisle Township trustee, Mr. Barry Taylor. And to my left is incumbent county commissioner Ted Kalo. They are candidates for the Democratic primary election on March the 6th. To my left is Model UN senior from Lorain High School, Tiffany McClelland. And we will begin with 2-minute opening statements, beginning with Mr. Taylor.
I just want to start off by saying thanks, Chip, for inviting me tonight. It's an honor and privilege to be here. I was here 2 years ago. So most people don't know me. I'm from southern Lorain County. I am married 29 years to my wife, Brenda. I have 4 children, all boys. 3 of them have graduated from college. One just started this last September. And 2 of them are in their master's program. I believe that education is a start when it comes to our area. We need well-educated people, and we need to keep them here. And thank God we have LCC here. I've lived in Lorain County for 58 years. I graduated from Elyria High in '71. Where I lived probably 25 years. Now I reside in Carlisle Township for the last 23 years. After graduation, I went to the military. I served in the Army from '72 to '75. As a trustee, I know the public side of government. I also am a financial consultant. I've been a financial consultant for the last 18 years. Before that, I was in banking. I have over 40 years experience in the financial market. And that's one of the main jobs that the commissioners do is the budget. Okay. Good thing I can see that. You know, the commissioners, they did impose a sales tax. And it was voted down twice. I think as government entities, we have to stop dipping into our taxpayers' pockets to balance our budgets. We have to find a way to get the revenue we need to balance the budget without doing that. As a commissioner, I bring integrity. I have no baggage coming into this office. I have the experience, I have the knowledge, and I have the qualifications. Thank you.
2-minute opening statement, Commissioner Kalo.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Chip also. It's a pleasure to be here once again. I think this is about my 5th trip here. Most of you know me. I'm seeking my 3rd term as your Lorain County Commissioner. I'm a lifelong Lorainite, Lorain Countyan, father of 5, 4 grandchildren, and I really enjoy being your county commissioner. Our issues have been tough the past few years. We have gone through the worst recession that most of us will ever know, and Lorain County's been able to balance our budget. And as my opponent said, we did impose a sales tax, and we've been on the ballot 3 times, and it hasn't been successful. So we're working at other ways to get county government to provide its services. I'm working on getting more investment income for our county through our state organization. I'm very active in our County Commissioners Association of Ohio. I'm working with all the different entities that we work with to find shared services, whether it works on combining sheriff's dispatch with our 911, or whether it's finding other shared services we can work together on. Lorain County is a wonderful place to live and work, and we have some great people here that are doing some wonderful things. When I first ran for office in 2004, I ran on a jobs platform. We need a one-stop shop for economic development. That's been quite successful. One of the top producing areas in the entire state and been recognized nationally. Our Lorain County Growth Partnership has either created or retained over 6,000 jobs in Lorain County in the worst economy of all times. Again, I ask for your support. I really enjoy being your commissioner, and I hope on March 6th you'll see to make me your next county commissioner once again. Thank you.
And we'll begin the questioning with Tiffany McClelland, and she will ask Commissioner Kalo the first question.
In the event that revenues do not increase sufficiently to balance the 2013 and future budgets, and assuming that more cuts are made, what fundamental reforms would you consider?
That's actually a great question, but let's start on the outside of that. As I mentioned in my opening statements, through House Bill 225, which is County Commissioners Association work now with the state legislature, we've been able to now change the way county government can handle its investment income. In 2008, county government received $8.3 million in investment income. We're now on pace to get $1 million to $1.1 million this year, so that's a $7 million loss in income to provide the services, which is equal to a 0.25% sales tax. Through House Bill 225, we're able now to do lending to municipalities across the state, working with our Treasurer and Investment Advisory Committee. Currently, we're just getting ready to do a bond deal going forward. It's going to raise our investment income $250,000. And based on a deal I've negotiated with our County Treasurer, Dan Taleric, we should be able to raise investment income another $500,000 this year and another $1 million going forward. We also have the casino revenues coming forward that we're looking at about $1 million in additional revenue this year. So we are looking at some additional revenue increases, but we have handled the budget properly. Over the last 4 years, we've cut over 20% of our budget and still provided the services.
Same question, Trustee Taylor.
Thank you. There's no doubt that the revenues that have come into the county has dried up. Local government has done the same with the townships. We work with less money because we get the less money from local government funds. The county, in good times, I believe, has overspent. And that's why we're in the situation we are in today. We have to be prudent investors for our tax dollars, for our community. We can't spend it like we have it in good times and not worry about the future. Okay, we can't work on what ifs. We have to work on what we have. We have to look at everything that we have control of. We have to make decisions of the little things that we can cut to make the bigger decisions in the future. I think that being in private business, the biggest expense is employees and expenses of fringe benefits. And those are the kind of things that you have to look at, and you have to make those tough decisions. We have, in the township, we have let people go, and it's not easy, especially in today's economy. But as a leader, you have to make those tough decisions.
Okay, and our next question will also be asked by Ms. McClellan.
The St. Joseph's Community Center, this building, faces a possible closure due to insufficient occupancy. It currently houses many offices, a VA clinic, Congresswoman Sutton and Senator Brown offices, and an LCCC campus, among other tenants. Lorain County and the City of Lorain have taken out loans to sustain the building's viability. Would you recommend other alternatives?
I'm glad to see that the VA hospital is here, and I'm glad to see that the veterans are looking at opening a Valor home here. But I don't want them to be throwing money into something that might not be here. I think the smart thing is to, I read in the paper today where they're going to do, ask for an audit. Have South Shore, have Ohio Realty, have the Lorain Commissioners, have the Mayor of Lorain get together and formulate a good plan to try to work together and build a working relationship with every entity to get more people to come into here. It's nice to see government and private businesses to work together to try to make something work. But let's get the plan on paper and let's see how viable it is before we throw more money into the project.
Same question, Commissioner Kalo.
The center's not going anywhere. As a county commissioner, I worked very hard 2 years ago negotiating with the state of Ohio and with the help of Joe Kazura, our state representative, and Pat Riley, the law director of the city of Lorain, and the past administration. We negotiated a deal to have the state of Ohio give up their end of the loan. They then gave us extended terms and made an agreement based on the amount of tenancy that was here to pay back those loan guarantees that are about $1.5 million between the city and the county. This facility at one point was bleeding $65,000 a month before we were able to put together a deal with Ohio Realty Group. They have done a wonderful job. The bleed that came out just 2 weeks ago, they're down to $25,000. They've taken care of 67% of the problems here in a little bit over a year's time. This facility is going to be fine. I believe what happened in the paper was reckless. It didn't address the needs and the wants and what is actually going on here, and we don't have a problem with this facility. We have a new administration in the city of Lorain. They're becoming re-engaged. When you lose one administration, a new comes in, no different than when the governor's house changed. We've received the CORF money to do the tear down. We have the local match, and we're going to be back in Columbus renegotiating this deal, and this center is going to be fine.
And very quick 30-second answer. In 2008 and 2011, Commissioner Kalo, you voted to place a sales tax increase on the ballot. Both times the voters rejected the issue overwhelmingly. Given the projected deficit for 2013, would you favor putting the tax referendum on the ballot again this November? If so, why? What has changed to make you believe the voters will approve it now?
Thank you, David. The county needs the revenue. We've actually done it 3 times. It's been on the ballot, once under imposed, once under emergency, and once as just a ballot issue. Lorain County is the lowest in the state in sales tax. We're the 9th largest county. We're lowest in the state in inside millage. When people talk about how come you're not doing things here, it's because we don't pay for them. I believe we need the sales tax. To put one on the ballot in November without a full board and setting up a complete committee that needs the private sector and public citizenry to support us, I don't think it would be successful. But I am continuing to fight to get more revenues for our county, and we need it to perform the services that every one of us deserves.
Mr. Taylor.
I believe that to impose a sales tax right now with the way the economy is would go down in defeat again. But maybe next year in 2013 we can take a look at it going on the ballot for November. But the thing is, we got to jump on it early. We know we have a deficit. The last time, I think we got it out too late. We didn't have a good committee. We didn't formulate it right. We tried to push this down, I think, the voters' mouth without, giving them the information that they needed. They need to trust the commission. They need to know what is going on with their money before they'll pass another sales tax.
And now we will conclude with 1-minute closing statements, and we'll begin with Mr. Taylor.
I just want to say that, this is a tough job. This is hard economical times. As I said in the beginning, I'm a financial advisor. I work with millions of dollars with my clients. And if I didn't do a good job, I wouldn't be in business today. I've done this for 18 years. I've worked in the bank for 23 years. I've worked with budget. I know how to make cuts. I know how to look at the financials. But it's difficult. You have to make difficult decisions when you're the leader. And I don't think that enough has been cut, and we've got to take a look at that. I have the qualifications, I have the knowledge, and I have the experience. And I don't want to see what happened 2 years ago. We lost a Democrat seat in the commissioner's office. And I think that I can be more electable than my opponent. Thank you.
And 1-minute closing statement, Commissioner Kalo.
Again, thank you very much. I think I've proven myself over the past 7 years. Lorain County's been able to balance our budget. We have done the cuts that we need to make. I've been very active, whether it's participating in the state to get more for our residents here or participating regionally from Indiana to Pennsylvania with all the other county commissioners. Just recently, we're going to take the governor on in the fight to keep our turnpike, and not be sold or leased. I have worked with NOACA. I fought the Cuyahoga Powers to get our Avon interchange here. It took us over a year, but I fought for our residents to have jobs here in Lorain County where they belong at. My opponent's a wonderful guy. I've known him for a lot of years. He's been very active in the community, does a great job as a township trustee. But in my 7 years, I've earned the respect of other organizations. I've actually been honored this year. UAW 425 Retirees Executive Board have endorsed me. I've been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police in Lorain and Elyria. I've been endorsed by Lorain County Young Democrats. I was recently endorsed by the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and I was endorsed by the Chronicle Telegram saying I was an effective commissioner and I deserved a third term. And I wish you'd agree with them, and I humbly ask for your support on March 6th. Thank you.
I want to thank Commissioner Kalo and Trustee Taylor, and of course, Model UN student Tiffany McClelland, who is doing her last roundtable with us. We want to thank you very much for all of the service that you have given to CHIP and to the Model UN, and congratulations on your graduation. Best of luck in your future. And now we will have Joel Arredondo, President of CHIP, give our closing remarks.